Hi everyone, and welcome back to the Model Mama Show. I'm your host, Turnure, and we have a truly incredible guest today. I would like to call her my mentor, Heidi Stevens. She is a business coach and a mindset coach and full of so much insight. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And so Heidi, we'll start at the beginning because I want to just give a little backstory about how I eventually got you here. So Heidi and I are in Hey Mama together, which is a membership community for entrepreneurial mamas, and it's incredible. So many great resources in Hey Mama, and I had the pleasure of attending a workshop at your house that was back in January. The workshop was called Setting Money Goals and Making Dreams a Reality, and I just fell in love with you because you had so much good nuggets of everything to say.
The feeling was mutual. I think it was an instant connection.
Yes, it truly was. But it was also, I'm like pinching myself, you guys, that you're sitting here right now because I remember this like it was yesterday. I was in your house. I was doing this workshop. It was January. I had all these ideas about like bringing this Model Mama platform to life, and I was so overwhelmed with where to start. And I remember you going through all of these powerful exercises about just like, you know, taking the first step, and you gave so much insight about just growing and elevating your business, and you really gave me like the kick that I needed to just take the first action step. And now you're here as a guest on my show, so this is so exciting to have you here. But I want to share some of your amazing wisdom with the audience. So maybe we'll just start off by talking about sort of what made you so passionate about coaching women in business, and most importantly, really focusing on the finance money element.
Yeah, so I have always been into personal development and just my own spiritual journey. And I don't know if you know, my background is actually in real estate for over 15 years. And I had this very much like one foot in, one foot out the entire time in real estate. And I was good at it. I enjoyed it. But I always knew that there was a deeper calling and a deeper just like thing for me, which I think most women in their 20s go through, you know?
Definitely.
Yeah, and so it's just this constant like tug and pull. And it was about, I started coaching about 6 years ago, and I started coaching women in real estate. And I loved it. And then I had my first son, and my only son. I now have a daughter as well. And so it was 2 years ago that I just got this internal hit of like, now's the time. Like, now's the time to really step forward and create my own platform and really support the women. I liked coaching women in real estate, but there was something about coaching creative women entrepreneurs that they are, what I find is that they are so good at what they do, right? They're a photographer or graphic designer or, you know, social media, whatever it is, that another coach. They're really, really talented, but they don't necessarily have the business acumen and the like money mindset to have them flourish in their business. And it feels like it's been a gift of mine that I've always just had a knack for running businesses, and what better way to serve you know, the women entrepreneur community than to share a gift, really.
Absolutely. And you truly do have a gift, because all of your advice just comes so effortlessly. Like, just listening to you talk right now, I'm like, I wish I had my notepad. But I also love, I think I read this on your Instagram, and I remember you saying something like this in your workshop about how you really want to sort of like eliminate this like stigma that like money is a dirty word, and that like women shouldn't talk about it, or they shouldn't ask for more money.
Yeah.
So can you talk about that?
Sure. So it's just, I feel like it's one of these things that we as women, we you know, we grow up with all these ideas, and as much as like, you know, women's empowerment and the feminist movement, in one way it was just 50 years ago, and another way, like it actually wasn't that long ago that we started being able to truly like be equals, which, you know, we're still, what is it, 71 cents on the dollar or something like that.
Yeah,
so there's work to do, and we are blessed today to be able to go out and earn money and make money and run businesses and have success. And yet I find so many women are still very, very squeamish and almost like contracted with knowing their value and knowing their worth and asking for it. And there's just all these like this like wonkiness, right? That comes like having contracts signed and saying your price and how do you package your services. And there's just all these elements. And I am empowered around, I get excited around empowering women around money, but really it's about the trickle effect that occurs when a woman like gets that confidence and starts earning that money.
Exactly. And that, oh my gosh, like almost gives me goosebumps because that's so true. It's like, it's not just about like the dollar sign.
It's not about
It's about
the money.
everything that comes after that and the freedom and the empowerment it gives you. Right.
Yeah, and like a woman like carries herself differently when you have confidence with what you're doing. And it's not that she who makes the most money wins, but when you walk into a room and you know that you're adding value and that you are doing what you say you want to do, you know?
Right.
Like I'm all for women staying home with their kids. It's like, just do you.
Yeah, like
just
if that's
do
what
you.
And that, and that's exactly what like this show has been all about, is just how like everybody is a mother differently and everybody works differently. You just have to find the balance that works for you and just like own it. And I really hope that like this show and with you, it's like everybody just sees that they just have to like have that confidence to just like create what they want and just like own that it's unique to them. So they need to do what's best.
Yeah, you know, and switching topics a little bit, that was actually one of my biggest challenges as a new mom. Was I thought, oh, I've wanted a kid for my whole life. You know, I think I was 34 when I had Harrison, and I just want to stay home with him for the first 2 years. And it wasn't like 2 months in that I was like, oh my gosh, like,
just kidding.
Yeah, like, you know, love being a mom, and I really am an entrepreneurial businesswoman.
Yeah.
And the more that I just owned that and, you know, really looked at how can I find a way to do both of these and to make it work for me and my son and my family, it's like just giving myself permission to do it. And that's what we all should be doing.
Absolutely.
It's like, and everyone's experience and story is going to be so different.
Absolutely. But part of giving yourself that permission is also setting yourself up for success. And one of your quotes that you said that I literally wrote down in January that I reread all the time because it's so relevant to motherhood and like going after your dreams is that you can have it all, but you can't do it all.
Yes.
And I love that you said that. And it's so true because there was a point where I was literally driving myself nuts, like trying to be a mom, be a wife, be a model, be like an entrepreneur, you know, do the show. And I was like, okay, I'm like not sleeping at night. I'm having way too much caffeine to try to function. And you're like, for what? So that my quality of life is crazy, you know?
Yeah, so true. So true. I'm a big fan of delegating and
so talk about that quote and like how that's your strategy, especially for moms.
It is, because I mean, it's like on one hand we're empowered to like do all the things, and then on the other hand it's like we're all striving for this like perfect life, you know, and it's exhausting. It's so exhausting. And like there's this idea that we are supposed to like do it all and be like amazing mothers and amazing businesswomen. And I'm just like, okay, something's got to give one way or the other, right? So for me, it really is all about, it's all about priorities, and it's all about finding great people to support me in whatever I'm up to. So, you know, professionally, I have team members. I have people that coordinated with you to get this on my schedule, because if I'm spending like my days going back and forth via emails, it's like, it's not the best use of my time.
Yeah.
Right?
You're right.
And then, so it's like, you know, I have someone that supports me with marketing and social media. I have someone that's, et cetera, in my business.
Yeah.
And then I have support at home. So I think one of the things that we talked about that was like blowing some of the mamas' minds at that first workshop was I was like, go get yourself a personal assistant for like 10 hours
I think
a
we
week.
talked about that. You were like, okay, we've spent way too much time on this topic. We need to move on because I haven't, like, a whole list
Yeah.
of things, but everyone was like, really? Yeah. Even me, I was like, wait, that would be amazing.
And I'll share with you, one of my mentors, I remember sitting down with her 5-6 years ago and her being like, you need more support. And I spent so much time with her going, but if, I don't know, what are people going to think of me? Like all the stuff that comes up when we think of someone that, you know, has a PA or whatever.
Oh, I think when I got like a message from your assistant, I thought you were a badass. I mean, even more so. I'm like, oh, this girl is like, I mean, I already knew that you had people supporting you, but I think it's a good thing.
It's about me being able to use my time most efficiently, right? And so that I can get the things done and do the things that I want to. And so, so that's how it looks, you know?
And that's great advice, especially so let's like dive into mommyhood because I don't know if I mentioned this yet, you guys, but you're a mom of 2.
Yes.
And you have a little boy. How old's your boy?
Harrison's 4.
Harrison's 4. Oh.
And Grace is 8 weeks old. She's not even 2 months.
Can you believe she just had a baby? I can't even. You look incredible.
Thank you.
And you look refreshed for just having. But see, you guys, she's really good at delegating.
Yes, I love spending time with my little girl. And I have a nanny. I have some support so that I can get myself to the gym and, take a nap and whatnot. Yeah.
Yeah. So let's dive into some of our mommyhood questions because I just can't wait to hear how like all of your wisdom applies to motherhood because I just have no doubt that
aren't we all great. We're all still trying to figure out mommyhood, so I'll do my best.
Yes,
we'll see.
For sure. But like, what's your, I'm so into like figuring out what everybody's like morning rituals are because I'm such a believer that like, that really sets the tone for the day.
Yes.
So like, how do you like to start your day?
And I take a deep breath. Yeah. It's like, yes, we all love to start our days with a beautiful morning routine.
Drag out the question because it's a big question. Yeah.
All right. So in an ideal world, right now I have an 8-week-old. So it's like, does she get up at 5? Like, is she up at 6? What is my sleep night like at nighttime? So, I do my very best to at least get like a 5-minute meditation in. And right now, if that's, with her breastfeeding or something, then that's what it looks like. And so just really just sitting there and just keeping my eyes closed and just breathing, just come back to center, Yeah. And then I actually make a conscious effort to not look at my cell phone first thing in the morning. I so want to grab it and I just put it aside for at least about a half an hour. Okay. And it's like, that's like some time for cuddling and like, just being with my babes.
Yeah.
And getting that morning meditation in. And then at some point in an ideal world, I realistically probably do this 3 times a week. Mm-hmm. I like to get some journaling in. But sometimes that doesn't happen until I've taken Harrison to preschool, or the nanny comes and I can hand Grace off or something like that. But just really like, it's just for me, it's just about getting into alignment, and I can feel my mind just kind of buzzing like in the morning. It's like I just get up and I like want to like go and get stuff done. And the more if I'm like, just take that moment, Heidi, and pause. And then one of my favorite meditations that I'll share, just because it's like, it's
I was
quick.
Going to ask. I'm like, so if this is like scary to somebody that has no idea what it means to like meditate, like how would you tell them to meditate?
So number one, we're like in the digital age of there's like millions of meditations online, right? So just like go find a meditation. Oprah's got great one, Deepak Chopra. I'm really into Abraham Hicks. So he does a lot of law attraction and like universal principles. So it's actually not, it's whatever. Abraham Hicks is like actually a woman, but it's all good. Okay. So just find one on an app, right? And allow someone else to take you through it so that you don't have to be sitting there and like figuring out what to do for yourself. Sometimes I'll listen to a meditation. Mm-hmm. I really love one that I heard Tony Robbins share on his podcast one time, which was it's 9 minutes, 3 minutes of just breathing and thinking about all the things that you're grateful for. right? And it's the whole attitude of gratitude just totally lifts your energy, lifts your spirits, is like really supports you in kind of getting into a higher vibration. And so then taking that gratitude that you're feeling inside yourself and kind of pouring it on everybody in your life. So I'll do the gratitude meditation, and then I'll go to my husband and my kids and my family, and then I'll like trickle it out to my community and my clients, and then I'll go so far as to reach, I'll ask for, you know, for the energy to go out to people that have never worked with me or that I don't know, and to really like call them in, like whoever's meant, you know, just kind of throw that out there. And then 3 minutes of visualization of what you're wanting to attract. And so really putting yourself into that headspace of, what is it that you're wanting to call in? Is it the new home? Is it the, you know, is it whatever the it is? Is it more clients? Is it an elevated presence on social media?
Right.
You know, it's really supporting and like really visualizing it. And the biggest thing is feeling the feelings of what it would feel like once you're in that spot. And that's really that's really like the core of manifesting.
Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
I know, see, it sounds so simple, but it's more just like getting yourself to do it.
It is.
It's just like, there's always an excuse, but it's like 9 minutes, who cares?
Right.
Or
But
less than that. I mean, you could do a shorter version.
yeah, and we both know it's like it sounds so simple, like do attitude of gratitude meditation, right? Like,
Hello.
duh.
Yeah.
And then it's like,
And then it's like,
and then
yeah,
there's life.
the action. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but it just, but it does. It helps to like set the intention for the day. And I love that. I'm so into that. Like, honestly, 2018 for me it's all about being intentional and like setting goals and like following through with all those things. And I feel like it's made such a difference. I mean, I really truly believe that that's what's like allowed me to create this whole thing and implement it.
Yeah.
And I love it. So
Beautiful. Can I share something on
Yeah.
that? So I live by my calendar, and I've noticed this even more so since Grace has been here, that it's like every single minute counts, right? And for us moms that are just literally doing a million things, like, yes, I have some flexibility, but like I'm being so efficient with my time. And it's like if I have to like get a blog post done or whatever it is, I literally put it in my calendar, and I notice that I'm like, oh, I'm supposed to be doing this, and then I just like find myself scrolling, you know, scrolling, and I'm like, oh, okay, put it down. This is on my calendar. And it's like,
So
again, it
smart.
sounds so simple, but just holding myself accountable to what needs to get done every single day and literally mapping it out in my calendar. It's like I'm so much more productive with that.
That makes so much sense. That's such good advice. I need to do that. This is for me too. But okay, so other tips on motherhood, like how do you, I know that you say that, I remember you said this in your workshop that like you don't really believe in like having everything balanced. You believe in seasons. So my question is, I know you're gonna just X this question, but my question is about balance. But I love that you say that. So my question would have been, but I have to rephrase it for you. It's like, how do you? Because you know, you're a business owner. You're also a mom of two. You're also a wife. You do lots of things.
Yes.
How do you achieve balance, or like, what's your strategy?
Yeah. So I mean, so to answer the question, it really is delegation.
Okay.
Like there's no way that I could be doing everything that I'm doing unless I had people supporting me.
Okay.
When I see mompreneurs, you know, trying to fit an entire business into a 2-hour window between drop off and pick up of a 9 to 12 preschool, I'm like, there's no way. Like, there's no way that you can, plus grocery shopping, plus working out. It's like, so like my advice is like, let's all get into reality. Like, let's like ground into reality and it's just about choosing what your priorities are. But it's not like, let's be grounded in the fact that we're not going to create this like super, super massively successful business if we're only going to give ourselves 2 hours a day to do it.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
So the way that I'm able to accomplish is by having support both so it's like in my business, I'm not doing things that I could have an assistant do. because that's not the best use of my time, and then vice versa.
Yeah.
So that is
That's
my
really
answer to balance. And then I think the other piece of that is just letting go of like this idea that there's balance.
Mhm.
Like there's seasons. There's going to be times where it's like, this is all about my kids, and it's, spring break or holiday break, and it's like, that's our time. And then
Right.
and then just being okay with, at least for me, that my time with Harrison, yes, I've got a couple hours in the morning, and then I literally am like from 5 to 6, like that's our time. And like for me just to put down my cell phone and like focus on him, and as best I can to be fully present, I'm exhausted after an hour.
I know.
And so I think that just, again, getting into reality of just like, what is the most important to you, and then what kind of support do you need to actually make that happen?
Yeah, that makes total sense. Great advice. Okay, another thing that we've been doing on the show that's really funny and fun is asking all the mamas for either like your funniest or most memorable mom moment.
Oh boy.
I'm putting you on the spot.
You're totally putting me on the
but
spot.
It was intentional.
Funniest or most memorable mom moment.
We've had poop stories. We've had boob out from breastfeeding, like crazy. So don't feel like you can't be raw. Share the real deal, because we all know.
Okay, so yeah, I feel like just bring up the poops. That's just coming to my. It's like flying with a 12-month-old who wasn't walking yet was. It was memorable in like the worst way. We were flying back to Maine, and I was so scarred that I was like, I'm not going back there until he's 4, and we're actually going back next month.
Oh my God.
It was just so awful. Yes, there was poop dripping everywhere.
Oh Lord.
The flight attendant was telling me like, you need to throw the diaper away, like don't dispose of it in this way. He was literally crawling on the floor, like eating Cheerios from the person next. I mean, it was a nightmare.
Traveling with kids is
the worst.
Is a lot.
It's the worst.
And it's like, it's like one of those ultimate like tests of just like inner fortitude, because like you can prepare to the like nth degree for traveling in general, but then like you add a kid or a baby into the mix, and it's like there's so many things that can happen, and it's like all the gear in your bag won't fix the problem.
I'm not meant for that. Like I'm like, let's keep it easy. Like
I'm
let's
not
have it be
being
easy.
prepared, and I'm like, yeah, can I just know what to expect? Yeah.
I didn't travel again with him until he was like 2.5 and could watch an iPad.
Because you were like, okay,
I was like, I'm not doing, like, this is like, there's nothing fun about this, vacation, And I feel like that's in the age of social media and influencers and everything. I'm always like, are they having as much fun as it looks like where they are on those pictures? And like, I'm like, 'cause that has not been my experience.
No, everyone only puts their like best face and moments on.
And so, so I actually, my parents are amazing, and we try and take little vacations just with my husband and I, and then we just know that, what do they say? Like a vacation's not really a vacation, it's more of just like a family trip when you're traveling with children.
Oh, that's
with your
a good
kids.
one, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, when we went to Seattle for 10 days with Henry, and we're like all over visiting family, my husband and I came back and we're like, okay, we need a vacation from our vacation.
100, absolutely.
Because I was exhausted after like
tiring.
traveling and packing up and repacking, and
I know.
and then plus like kids, I think kids like almost like know that it's tricky, like instinctually, and they kind of make it trickier.
Pushing all the buttons.
Yeah, it's like I think they're kind of uncomfortable too, because it's like a new space, new environment, so they just kind of like add fuel to the fire for some reason.
Oh yeah.
Right. Yeah. But okay, I want to like tell our audience too, like where they can find you, and also like if you have any programs or anything coming up that people should check out, because you're really active on Facebook. You also have a podcast called The Soul of Business.
Correct.
Right?
Yep.
That's amazing, you guys. But you're really active on Facebook. You do lots of live coaching.
Yeah, I do. I do a lot of lives, and and then I do lives on Instagram as well.
Okay.
And I have my podcast, The Soul of Business. Started that about 4 or 5 months ago, so
Which
that's been
is
really
incredible.
fun. And they can find me at Heidi Stevens Inc. That's my website, and that's also my Instagram handle.
Perfect.
And then, yeah, I've got a few programs coming up. I've got one actually that's called the Money Course, and that's launching in about a
I
month.
feel like I need to do that.
It's gonna be fun. It's 8 weeks.
Okay.
And it's both practical and spiritual tips
Ooh.
and coaching for women entrepreneurs.
Yeah.
And it's not just like service-based. It really is for all women entrepreneurs.
Okay.
And then I have Thrive coming up in January, which is a 5-month program, and that's really geared towards service-based creative women entrepreneurs.
Great.
And it's giving them the foundation and the mindset work for building their businesses.
Incredible, you
Yeah.
guys. You're so incredible. It's so fun. It's so fun to have you here. I wish we'll have to have you back and like just share more tips and
I would love that.
everything, because all of your insight is so practical. And like, I love how you break it down, and when you say everything, it sounds so simple and like easy to implement. So I'm just like gonna run out the door and do all of that.
That is one of my things for myself too, is like implement.
Implement
Like
it.
we're in the world of like, there's knowledge everywhere and there's free content everywhere. And it's almost, we're inundated with information.
Yes.
So, it's more like, how quick are you gonna actually act on it and have it stick?
Yes.
Yeah.
So true.
Good. This
Great.
is so fun.
Oh, this is so good. Thank you so much, Heidi, for being here.
You're so welcome. I'm so honored.
Thank you to our audience for tuning in. We are signing off, but you can find Heidi at Heidi Stevens Inc.
Heidi Stevens Inc. Yeah.
Heidi Stevens Inc. on Instagram, Facebook, and all on her website. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Signing off from Tara and Heidi. See you later. Bye.